Emily here from Team Retro. Today we're going to take a look at a different monitor from Aorus, the FI32U. The 31.5-inch 144Hz gaming monitor from Aorus is packed with specs, like 1 millisecond response time, HDMI 2.1, display HDR400, plus loads more. So let's jump straight in and take a look. Unboxing the FI32U, it comes with power, a HDMI 2.1, a USB and mini display cables, plus the stand. The monitor is really easy to slide onto the base and get into the correct position. One of my favorite features is its back panel, complete with RGB lighting down the sides, which you can customize through RGB Fusion. The back panel also has the Aorus logo and a combination of matte and gloss finishes. If your desk isn't very wide like mine, then the legs are something that you may need to consider. The monitor, however, can be mounted to an arm, but due to the stand coming with RGB lighting, I wanted to take advantage of that glow. I've chosen to sit the monitor angled and to the side on my desk, so that anyone walking into the room can see the back of the panel. The FI32U features an ergonomic design which offers the ability to adjust the height, pivot, swivel and tilt, allowing you to get this into the perfect position. On the FI32U, there are a number of ports which are positioned on the underside of the back panel. There is 2 HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 1.4, USB-C, USB-B, 2 USB 3s, audio and microphone jacks, and the AC in. To control the panel, use the toggle positioned on the bottom center of the bezel. This unit doesn't come with a controller like the FV43U. Now, I kind of miss it, but it's not a deal breaker just due to where it's positioned on the desk next to me. In the settings menu, there are 4 main sections, which are gaming, picture, display, and picture-in-picture. In the dashboard settings, you're able to bring up your PC usage. Under Game Assist, you can utilize a ton of features for competitive gameplay, like crosshair, alignment, timers, refresh rate, and more. Toggling through the menu, you can change the input, control, and volume, and of course these short toggle settings can be changed to your preference. The FI32U comes with a super speed IPS panel which can run at 144Hz via the DisplayPort 1.4. The screen is 31.5 inches with a resolution of 3840 by 2160 and is an 8-bit with FRC. This monitor comes with a peak brightness of 350 nits, which for me is perfect with the distance I sit in front of the display. Any brighter, I just couldn't be that close. It is also eye-safe with low blue light and flicker-free. The FI32U is certified display HDR400. The HDR content when gaming in my experience has been vivid and lifelike, but I'll get more into that as we discuss the games tested. I will note that Aorus have done a great job with this SS IPS panel, as motion blur and ghosting is minimal. Again, like the FV43U, if it's there, it's so minor. I can't see it, especially as I play a lot of FPS games. For me, it's not noticeable at all. This particular model has a 1 millisecond response time, and that paired with 144Hz makes it an incredible screen to use. The FI32U also is compatible with the next-gen consoles, with both ports being HDMI 2.1, so you can run those games at 120Hz. Now for the color space. The FI32U is bright, clear, with great color accuracy. My video editing has been a wonderful experience on this monitor, and using Windows 10, all of the text has been clear to read. The screen supports 90% of DCI-P3 color space and 123% of sRGB. So you might be asking what it's like to edit photos and videos. The answer to this is that the FI32U is a gaming monitor first, but it does give creatives an excellent color accuracy and vibrant colors when working with video files. I've had no complaints moving from my old screen to this monitor. The Aorus 32U has excellent display settings straight out of the box, and the calibration on this display is fantastic from the get-go. The HDR400 setting looks great, but in this instance on the FI32U, I found that I had set this mainly to HDR game when playing. The HDR game setting also allows you to make adjustments so you can have this set to exactly the way you want. When testing SDR, the black equalizer helped with playing darker games, so I could adjust and see all of the enemies. It can affect how good the overall picture looks, but testing this for competitive gameplay, it was an advantage. It's something again that will and should be adjusted to your personal preference. For this first test, I wanted to show the different SDR modes on PC. There is Standard, VS Mode, FPS, RTS RPG, movie, reader, sRGB, and then the custom slots. The picture looks great in those modes, but my personal preference has been gaming in HDR. The modes for the FI32U are HDR 400, HDR Game, and HDR Movie. Personally, I've played the majority of hours in HDR Game. Now I've made some slight adjustments to the brightness, but it's been a consistent and enjoyable experience the entire time. I have gone from the 43-inch monitor to the 31.5-inch, and the only real difference has been the screen size. This monitor hasn't missed a beat, and it's performed very well across all tests. I've been working on this review for the past 3 weeks, and I've tested PC, PS4 and next-gen consoles with both the Xbox Series and the PlayStation 5. The FI32U does come with two HDMI 2.1 ports, so you can run those next-gen consoles at 120 frames. But in this review, I also wanted to cover the PS4 Pro. During my tests, one of the most important ones for me was my stream setup. The Aorus FI32U didn't disappoint. Testing God of War on my PS4 Pro via my Elgato 4K Mark II capture card, the display looks absolutely incredible. I've put around 5 hours just into God of War and seen so many things that it feels like a new experience for me playing the game. The detail in HDR mode on this screen has been second to none, and I may have taken longer to get this review out because I've been tied up gaming. On the PS5, I tested a few different games, but with the release of Ghost of Tsushima, I thought I might jump back into the world and see what the game looks and plays like on the FI32U. In the HDR game mode at 60 frames, Ghost looks again sensational. This experience is so much better than playing this originally on my big 4K Sony display. The contrast, even in the dark scenes, for me looks great. On the Series X, I played through some of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. This game is bright, colourful and lifelike, which is why it was a must to test on this monitor. My overall experience playing the flight sim and the latest Psychonauts was fantastic. The FI32U across all the latest gen and previous gen consoles in HDR is great. Ori and the Will of the Wisps I was running at 120 frames. Again, this game is not graphic heavy, but what it did give me is true, bright and accurate colours. Ori was super smooth to play, and on the Series S, this was an absolute standout in the review testing. On my PC, I decided to test out Forza Horizon 4. This is one game that has incredible graphics, and with its fast pace, I thought was a perfect title to test. I'll note that the FI32U is G-Sync compatible for those that use Nvidia cards. The 1 millisecond response time enhanced my gameplay across every title played. The wide color gamut also made for an immersive experience. I think anyone looking at upgrading their screen or buying an Aorus for the first time is going to be impressed with gaming on this display. Testing across the Xbox Series, PS5, PC and PS4 Pro, I did prefer the HDR game mode. It's definitely very, very bright, so I do recommend adjusting the brightness to your preference. When playing competitively, I switched back to SDR standard and adjusted the black equalizer. Out of the box, this display has amazing calibration, and if you wish to have your own custom setup in the SDR mode, then that's also an option too. The FI32U doesn't have inbuilt speakers, but it's not a hindrance for me as I'll always be running the audio through my headset. The 32U has an ESS Sabre chip, which provides a clear and powerful sound profile if you do decide to connect your headset direct to the monitor. The Aorus FI32U is retailing at $15.99 here in Australia. What you do get for that price tag is a 1 millisecond response time, HDR 400, the color gamut and the quality of this display makes it worthwhile. So what's the final verdict? The FI32U fits right into that tactical gaming monitor space. The display offers so much for the price and size. As a creative, I've found this screen hands down is one of the best I've used. The colouring is bright, clear and in my opinion accurate. I've edited a number of photos and videos in the past few weeks and it's been a much quicker process for me. I also want to note that like the FV43U, the FI32U comes with the KVM feature. So those that use a dual PC setup can take advantage of using one keyboard and mouse and switching between your home or work PCs. It's straightforward to set up and worth mentioning as it's a huge advantage of the Aorus range of monitors. The addition of the OSD Sidekick is also such an easy and time-saving way to look at and adjust the monitor settings. The tactical features for gamers with aim stabilization, black equalizer, game assist, and the ability to customize this to your gameplay style really is remarkable. I didn't realize that playing with such a high refresh rate was going to enhance my gameplay. The 1 millisecond response time, ability to change the black equalizer, and really get the brightness and contrast in SDR mode to my preference up my game. The screen is the perfect size for my desk space, and I never felt it was too big or that my eyes were wandering around the screen. Everything is perfectly placed and ergonomic for a long day of work or gaming sessions. After weeks of testing, I decided to keep the FI32U, and I can highly recommend this monitor. I definitely have had such a great experience gaming and working on this display. I think the size is perfect as well for my desk setup. So if you're sitting on the fence and thinking about changing to an Aorus monitor, I can highly recommend it. The FI32U is definitely great. Thanks for watching.